Hi! I'm back! It's been 2 weeks since my last episode. You're watching the Knits and Beads podcast, and I'm your host, Lorelei Erdo. I'm from upstate New York. I'm a jewelry designer that knits in my free time. This is a predominantly knitting podcast, and I've got a lot of things to show you, so I figured I'd better do an episode. You may or may not see me yell at my cats. They are wide awake and ready for action. So they're naughty, so I'll probably be yelling at them at some point. Django is milling around looking for trouble. Cassius is looking out the window at the moment, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful Happy New Year. It's 2017. Woo! I had a lovely holiday with my family. Well, with my husband's family, actually. We went to Connecticut and we went down Christmas Eve and came back on Monday. It was a really nice, kind of short visit, but lots of nice quality time spent with my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, my mother-in-law, my niece and nephew, and some aunts and uncles and cousins. So that was really nice. I sewed some things for my niece. She's 11, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go over, but it went over really well, and she loved it. She's into makeup this year, and so instead of buying her expensive makeup for an 11-year-old who can't even wear it to school, I thought I would sew her I bought her some makeup brushes, and I sewed her a makeup brush roll that she could store them in, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see what that looked like. It turned out really great. Her favorite color is teal, so I used teal for the exterior, but nothing too fancy or flashy. And on the interior, I used a metallic kind of polka dotted gray material, which I thought would possibly camouflage any makeup that might come off the brushes onto the fabric. It's got pockets for each of the brushes, and the brushes that I bought, I put in there, and she still had room left over for more. And she got some other brushes from another family member, and they all fit perfectly. She was thrilled. I wish I had taken video of her opening it. I just didn't know how it was going to go down. I just didn't know if she was going to like it or even like the fabric I chose, but she really loved it, and it was a big hit. And then the flap folds down over the brushes to protect them, and then it rolls up, and I put elastics on it. Just kind of like I make my jewelry rolls, but with pockets, and I quilted it, and it turned out pretty good. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good, and she was happy, so. I also made her a little zippered pouch for makeup if she wanted to take some on the go or whatever, and she loved that too. So it was all around a very good Christmas. And for New Year's we didn't do anything. Joe and I stayed home. We cooked, which is normally what we like to do on New Year's, and it was just really low key, stay at home, kind of knitting, watching TV kind of night, and it was perfect. So yes, I am going to talk about knitting right now. So I will start talking about my works in progress. I have some finished objects to show you. I have new acquisitions to show you. I have a bunch of things to show you. So let's see. The first thing I'll talk about is this cowl. When I left before Christmas break, I was in that interim in-between stage of just finishing a cowl, which I'll show you later, and I didn't have anything on the needles at that point. So I was thinking, my God, I'm going to go to Connecticut. I'm not going to have anything to knit on. What am I going to do? I decided just to find something. So what I found was okay, but I haven't really been into knitting on it that much. But I did find that it was great car knitting. So I'm kind of hoping that to go on another trip so that I can knit on it in the car a little bit more. But when I was at Rhinebeck this past year, I bought some rustic yarn from Harrisville Designs. Here's the label. And it's kind of a rustic wool. It's a woolly wool. And it's out of New Hampshire. And I bought the Shetland fingering, and it's the poppy color. And I love the color. Anyway, I only bought 2 skeins of it, so I thought I would try to find a cowl pattern. So the pattern, here's a picture of the pattern. I know that doesn't show you very much, but it has some lace and cable and some garter on it, and you can get a better idea when I show you how much I've done so far. So here it is so far. And it's got some lace here. Here is a nice little 3x3 cable. And then the rest of it is garter. So, as you can imagine, this is going to be a long cowl that you can wrap twice. And it's going to take some time. It's not going very quick. But like I said, I worked on it a lot in Connecticut and then gave up on it when I got home because I cast on some other things. So I'm knitting this on my Hiya interchangeables, and it's a 24-inch cable, and I'm using the size 4s. And I love them. I love the needles. They're great. Here is my second cake of yarn. So the color, it's kind of a very orangey red, and it's really lovely in person, but on photos and on video it's not true to color, unfortunately. Keeping that in my Jenna Rose handmade bag, and I'm going to grab a tissue. Okay, so while I was in Connecticut, I bought some things at the local yarn store there, and I think it's called something like Knit Two Together. And my mother-in-law graciously gave me a gift card for that store. So we went on Monday morning before we headed back home, and they were open, and so I was able to get some things. First thing I picked out was some Mad Tosh, and this is vintage, which is their worsted, and the colorway is called Undergrowth, and it's the most gorgeous teal color that's being a little bit blown out here. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, love it. And then I also bought some Queensland Collection Rustic Tweed. It's a fine wool alpaca tweed. I got the natural color. I got 2 skeins of each of these. That's the natural. Little flecks of black, more dark brown. And the other one is it doesn't have a color. It's considered black brown. and it's a really dark chocolate brown with flecks of lighter brown. And I bought that for a specific project. Oops. I have cast on and started knitting the Andrea Mowry's Ramble Shawl. It's gorgeous. It's got striping and then this brioche, which I guess you would call a brioche herringbone. And in her project pages, the main project, I think it's kind of a natural and a gray, but I really like the strong contrasting colors, so that's why I chose the cream and the brown. And I think that I'm really gonna love having this in my wardrobe. It's a bit of a slog at the moment just because I'm just doing a lot of garter. But here it is so far. Sorry, it's connected to the yarn in my bag here. So here it is so far. It's growing. I have probably 30 more rows to go, and then I can start the herringbone brioche. So it's nice. It's nice and squishy. So yeah, there's nothing too exciting about knitting brioche, or I mean knitting garter, but I'm using my Hiya Sharps interchangeables again. I'm on a 40-inch needle, or 40-inch circular cord, and this is the US 6, and they are awesome. And I'm keeping this in another Jenna Rose bag, my bucket bag, which is perfect because the balls are pretty big and I've got 4 of them in here, and this is just great. I've also been putting my patterns in these plastic sleeves that I snagged from my husband from Staples. It kind of keeps everything nice and organized and from getting too wrinkled. Okay, there's 2 works in progress. I have 1 more work in progress. I might as well talk about that now. Remember last podcast I talked to you about starting a new sweater? Well, I have started the Tegan cardigan by Carrie Bustick Hodge. Would somebody please tell me how to pronounce this poor girl's name, because I feel terrible every time I mention it. I printed this in black and white, but you can get the idea there. It's an open cardigan with no buttons, and it's got nice pearl ridges along the whole thing. I snagged yarn from D-Stash, like I said in my last episode, from the lovely Amy Edwards Green of Stranded Dye Works, and she sent me 8 skeins of Osprey, which is Quince & Company, and the colorway is Kumlian's Gull, and it's just a beautiful medium gray, kind of a heathered look to it, and it's so soft. It's a Aran weight, and I hope I have enough yarn now that I'm looking at it. I have used 2 skeins so far. I'm on the 3rd skein, and I have another wound up cake in here. So I'm keeping this in this sweater bag that I made. Here it is so far. It's knit bottom up. And here it is so far. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's nice and chunky. However, I find that when I'm working on something this chunky, it's nice to have a balance of a fingering weight or some kind of thinner weight yarn. So I'm working obviously on a couple of other things. My Ramble shawl is being done in kind of a DK light worsted, and that orange cowl is a fingering weight. And a finished object I just did was DK weights. So I've been kind of all across the board in weights while I've been knitting the last 2 weeks. So what to say about this? Not too much to say. I have to knit about 15 inches and then I can start binding off for the arms. It's really nice and heavy. I think this is going to feel a little bit more like a jacket when I'm done with it. However, I don't know, maybe it'll block out a little bit differently, who knows. But I love the color, and who doesn't need, obviously I said this before, a gray cardigan. I mean, I can wear this every day. So I actually have a gray cardigan that I wear almost every day. So this sweater bag is the perfect size for this kind of stuff. So you can see it fits in there nice. And looks like a pillow. Yeah, I love that project. I love all my projects right now. I'm super excited. Talk about my finished objects that this just came out. This is Charlotte Bory's drizzle hat. I test knit it. It's a little stretched out because I wore it yesterday. This is available now. It just came out today. Be sure to check it out on Ravelry. I knit this out of the fiber company Acadia, and I forget the color names, I'm afraid. So if you want that info, it's on my project page. This took a little time to make because it's all brioche. As you can see, the striping, it does change. So the drizzles are green here for a couple of rows, and then the drizzles turn to the brown. And then it's just the wavy lines in the green. And then it changes again. So it's fun. It's a really fun pattern. I knit an extra repeat on mine to make it a little slouchy. However, it's not really very slouchy at all. Maybe a little, not much. It's cute. I love this yarn. It's so soft. You want to check out Charlotte's page because her project turned out wonderful. She did two, one high contrast like navy or black and white, and then a low contrast brown and blue or green, something like that. She has a couple test knitters also, so you can get an idea of what this will look like in a bunch of different tones, but I recommend the pattern. It does take some attention. I felt like if I stopped paying attention too long, I would make mistakes. However, I'm getting quite good at tinking back in brioche, so it took me a couple tries to get going on this, and I think that the reason is because it had been a couple weeks since I did any kind of brioche, and I feel like with brioche, you have to continually do it and keep doing it fairly often to keep it fresh in your mind, because I feel like a lot of that knowledge had slipped away over a couple of weeks of not working on it, and I kind of forgot how to do it. So it took a little bit of refreshing, but I finished. Anyway, this is a DK hat project and finished object number 1. Finished object number 2, I talked about this, was almost done with it when I showed it to you last time I podcast, but it's now done. This is the Peeping Cowl by Joji Locatelli, and it turned out awesome. So I think I showed you I was here, and so I finished the light gray cabling pattern and then more stripes and ribbing. To reiterate the yarn, this is all yarn from Stash. I had used Sweet Georgia. In the bison color, this is bulletproof sock. This light gray, I used 2 different ones. This one for this cabling is Yoth Yarns little brother in the sea salt color, and then down here in the striping I used some Shibui Knit Staccato fingering and ash. The green is the fingering weight from Nice and Knit yarn in kelp, and this blue-green color is Plucky Knitter Primo fingering in macaroon. I love this. I loved it. I love all of Joji's tube cowl patterns, the 2 that she's got going on right now. I've been wearing this one a lot. I love it. It looks so good on. It's really nice and cozy, and yeah, it's great. I love it. I recommend knitting this. If you've done the 3-color cashmere cowl, you will love this one too. The cabling makes it nice and interesting. The different sections of, well, this is kind of a lacy pattern. The stripes, once you get kind of bored of that, then you move to stripes. When you get kind of bored of that, then you move to cable. And back and forth throughout the whole thing. And that's what I like about it, is that it just keeps my interest throughout the whole project. I love it. If you're looking for a cowl to knit, this is definitely a good one. It's also a great stash buster, I think, since I used all kind of leftovers. And I did end up, my stripes weren't as long, but you can't even tell. I mean, they're a little bit wider there and a little bit thinner up top, but you can't really tell. Definitely can't tell when it's on. So let's talk a little bit. Oh, I have another finished object. This is a sewing object. This is a custom order that I made for a woman who has a friend who's a knitter. And Grace picked the fabric out from my stash, and she wanted, initially she asked me for a sweater bag. She said that her friend is housing her knitting projects in a reusable grocery bag at the moment. So I made her this tote. It turned out cute. I love this fabric so much. This is kind of a home decor, like canvas fabric. I lined the bag in kind of a crosshatch gray and white, and I did put a couple of pockets in there for her also. Hard to even see, but you get the idea. There's a little loop on the outside. She can put stitch markers or clipper keys or whatever. And then I just used some nylon kind of webbing for the handles. Grace loved it so much she wants another one, so I have to sew up another one of these and get them sent out to her. A fun project. Super easy. I wasn't even using a pattern at all, so I kind of made it up as I went along, which is fun. It's always fun, right? New acquisitions. I mentioned this yarn last time I podcast. Closeoutyarn.com. They had some fiber company. This is Terra. It's a baby alpaca wool and silk blend, and the colorway is Hollyhock. Now, it looked a little different online than it does in person, but here it is. Pink. It's pink. I've got 6 skeins here. I want to do a big cowl. It is actually a very interesting color in person that you can't really get on camera. But there is kind of a two-tone to it, a two-tone pink to it. It's so soft, oh my gosh. It's going to be really lovely around your neck. I love the Fiber Company so much. It's like one of my favorite yarn companies. So that was acquisition number 1. Then I ordered, I'll break it up and show you these. Nevernotknitting.com. You're probably familiar with that website, but I follow them on Instagram and they showed these little tins and I thought they were so cute. So it's got stitch markers in it, the little metal rings. I also bought one with a rabbit on it for Nancy of the Round Rabbit podcast because she needed it. I knew she needed it. I sent it to her. I was initially thinking that maybe I would turn these little tins into pendants. I don't know if it might be too big and bulky though. So I'm probably not going to do that now. But that owl is so cute. Oh my God. Speaking of owls. Candace, you got me. You got me. Candace showed some enameled pens that she got recently from Wormwood and Rue, and had to have it. I had to have it. So I got it. I don't have it on a bag yet. I gotta put it on one of my bags, but he's so cute. And then, of course, I dropped down that rabbit hole, and that's not a rabbit hole I need to be in at all, is the enameled pen rabbit hole. But apparently, there's quite a few really awesome ones online. And there might be more enameled pens coming my way, I have to be honest. So, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh my gosh. So I ordered some yarn because I had to. I've been kind of tempted many times on Instagram. People showing yarn from the Woolen Boon. The Woolen Boon is wicked pretty yarn for all. How cute is that, huh? Woolenboon.com. Follow and like her at Woolen Boon. So it's not the Woolen Boon, it's just Woolen Boon. Sorry. She left me the cutest note, and there are stitch markers on the back. She's a brilliant, brilliant marketer. And I got 2 skeins, and I just could not resist either one of them. Apparently, I am collecting speckled DK weight yarns. So I asked on Instagram the other day if maybe I should figure out how to do one of those find your fade shawls in a DK weight. I might do that. I don't know. So this is the first one that I got. Oh my God. I'm not normally drawn to this like really neon yellow color, but the speckles in it just, you had me at hello. Because look at that. Oh my God. The colorway is called Super Cool Party People. And it is super cool. And it's so soft. It's the DK 4-ply DK weight, 100% superwash merino. It's 250 yards. And she wrote, Life, Knittery, and the Pursuit of Happiness, hand-dyed with Moxie in New Hampshire. And then this one I had to get because I'm a baby of the 80s. I love Lisa Frank. That's the name of it. I love Lisa Frank, and I do. Lisa Frank. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. This is like perfect Lisa Frank in a skein of yarn. And I freaking love it. I mean, come on. Come on. That right there. Perfection. I about died when this came. Died. I also have another skein of speckled DK weight in like more of a poppy red color from Kindred Red, and that should be here soon, hopefully. For some reason, it's taking a really long time from California. I don't know why that is, but it's been a good week, a good long week. So, I don't know. I might try to do some sort of shawl with these as a fading colorway. I don't know. We'll see. What else do I have to show you? One more thing. This took a super long time to get to me. Super long. Like, we're talking 3 months. 2 months, at least 2 months. I participated in the Stitch Kit Swap. That's not right. A Stitch Kit. It was like a bag swap. It was like a yarn swap. You get the idea. Now I can't remember what it's called. Stitch Kit Swap. And anyway, it was a secret swap, so I didn't know who I was paired up with. I just got a name that I sent to. God, it happened so long ago. It's so hard to remember. Anyway, Natalie, and her Instagram name is NatalieToner619, is from West Africa. West Africa. And she sent me a cute package with this little handmade, this is one of those Japanese kind of knot bags. It's lined and it's my favorite color. She sent me a couple of skeins of yarn, these two little guys, in my favorite color. She gets me. She totally gets me. She probably has been stalking me on Instagram. Pure Merino sock. Color spun. Natural dyer, fabric, and yarn. Earth friendly. Color 076. It's created by hand, therefore each ball is imbued with the artist's energy and will have its own unique characteristics. Only the finest quality locally grown merino wool is colored using an earth-friendly process and dyes with excellent color-fast properties. It's really pretty. And she also sent me a beaded bracelet. How beautiful is that? Oh my gosh. And some coconut wood buttons and some cute elephant stitch markers or progress keepers. So cute. Look at that. And she sent me a pair of earrings. They're gorgeous. So that was a very fun swap. I just wish I had gotten it a little bit sooner. But what are you gonna do? You know, when you're paired up with someone, anyone in the world, you never know. So, thank you, Natalie. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. All right, 34 minutes. That's a good time to shut up, I think. Thanks for listening to me yammer on. Oh, I did forget one thing to tell you about. 2016, wrapping it up. Here we are into 2017, and I've noticed a lot of podcasters talking about their year in review. And so I thought I would just throw some numbers at you just to let you know what I knit this year. I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you want to go back and watch my past episodes, awesome. But I tallied up the things I've knit in 2016, and I thought it was interesting, and I will share that with you now. So I knit 5 cowls, 1 poncho, the Bowden poncho, 1 shrug by Michelle Wang, 2 pairs of socks, 7 hats, 1 pair of colorwork fingerless mitts. Those were the ones I did from I didn't even do them that long ago. Woolen Knitworks. I did 2 wraps, and when I say wrap, I mean like rectangular, because I did the Boylan Knits one, and then I did Hohi Locatelli. I did 4 triangular shaped shawls, 8 crescent shawls. 8. Can you believe I knit this much? 1 vest, 1 short sleeve cardigan, that was last summer, and 1 pullover sweater, my sweater that I just finished, the Fireside pullover. That's insane. 34 pieces I knit in 2016. So it was a good year. Goals for 2017 is just to knit everything, all of it, all the shawls, all the sweaters, all the cowls. I do want to knit mittens. I have a couple pair favorited. I don't know exactly which ones I'm going to do yet. Definitely mittens. Definitely more hats. I just bought a pattern yesterday by Hunter Hammerson. If you don't follow Hunter Hammerson on Instagram, you need to. Amazing designer. Amazing. And I bought a hat that just came out this week. And I did try to cast it on. But she leaves it very open-ended when it comes to choosing your needle size, and it's something you're supposed to swatch, and I didn't, and then I ripped it out because, duh, I should have swatched. So I'm going to have to swatch and figure out what my gauge is and what size needles I want. But I think that the ones I started out were with 2s, because the yarn I'm using is Feather by Madeline Tosh, and it's a little bit finer gauge than your typical Tosh Merino light. So I don't know, but I did feel like my gauge was really too tight, so I might go up a needle size and see what happens and do an accurate swatch. But it's such a gorgeous hat, and now I've caked up the yarn and I feel like I have to do something with it. Although it didn't stop me before. I have tons of cakes of yarn that have been caked up for other projects that didn't work out, so whatever. What other goals do I want to do for... I would like to practice a little bit more at lace knitting. That's one thing I struggle with. I would like to do more brioche. I do like doing brioche. Anything else I want to learn in 2017 that I haven't done yet? I don't know. More sweaters probably. More sweaters, like maybe something, another pullover or something in a finer gauge yarn. I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaving it open-ended. That's what knitting is all about. It's just I'm gonna knit what I feel like knitting when I feel like knitting it. So I'm sorry I'm not as organized as other people that have full lists of exactly, you know, projects they want to work on. I'm just not that organized. And Anyway, you can find me all over the internet as Lorelei Erdo. And I have an Etsy store, which is loreleierdojewelry.etsy.com. I have opened my brand new website, which is on Shopify now, but my domain is loreleierdojewelry.com or loreleierdojewelry.com. Both will take you to my new website. Check it out if you have a minute. I have my sewn stuff on there. I have jewelry components. I have tutorials and ebooks that I've written and finished jewelry. It's going very well so far. I really enjoy the new website. It's very easy to use, and yesterday I attended a free webinar on how to open a Shopify store. Even though I had already opened it, I've kind of figured out most of it myself, but I just wanted to see if there was anything new that I didn't know how to do. And I did learn a couple things, so I will be utilizing those new pieces of knowledge, I guess you could say. And I'm on Instagram, and I post there quite a bit. My handle's Lorelei Erdo. And I'm on Ravelry as Lorelei Erdo also. So thank you again for listening to me talk for 40 minutes about my life and my knitting, and I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind of an episode. We'll see how the upload goes. You know, that's always fun. No, it's not fun. It takes forever. But hopefully someday they'll figure out a better way. It's just getting the upload to the computer, getting the video edited, and then getting it onto YouTube takes a day. So you'll probably see this tomorrow. But anyway, happy Thursday. And this weekend I'm going to see my parents finally to celebrate our Christmas. We were supposed to go last weekend, and a huge snowstorm hit, of course. So I'll be anxious to see my folks. I won't be able to see my sister, but I will see my brother and my mother and my father. And that'll be great. And hopefully I'll be able to see my sister sometime soon. She lives in Mystic, Connecticut now, so I need to trek down to her from my in-laws, which they live northern Connecticut. So anyway, all right, I'm done talking. I'll talk to you guys on the flip side. Bye.